What's up, y'all? It's your boy J Dab again, coming back at you with another video. Finally, we are back from vacation. It is time to get back on this work, get back on the road so we can bring this thing on home and get it done. So today I'm gonna give you a twofer. Again, just going through these topics that med influencers usually go through that are kind of cliche. Although it's good to go through these things and it's practice for me, but just want to knock this stuff out so I can get to some of the content that I really want to do. So without further ado, so the things we're going to talk about today is the traditional student route versus the non-traditional student route. And we're also going to talk about a day in the life of a med student that I've been thus far. So why am I doing the traditional route versus the non-traditional route video? The reason why is people always ask me, how much longer do you have left? How long have you been in school? So on and so forth. So we're going to go ahead and cover that. So just to knock out the traditional route real quick. So after you graduate high school, obviously, you go to college for people that want to, become a physician. So let's say, for example, they go to Indiana University. I'm from Indiana, went to Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana. So the traditional route is if you are doing what you're supposed to be doing and graduating on time, it's 4 years of undergraduate work. You can major in anything, but there are certain prerequisites that you have to take to get into med school, but 4 years out the gate of undergraduate work. Then after that, you go into medical school, which is another 4 years. Now, medical school is broken up into basically two sections. And we're talking about the U.S. school system here when I reference this. And that's important because some people may go to school in, the U.K., India, wherever the case may be, or people like me that have gone to a Caribbean school that is based on the U.S. school system. So the U.S. school system is 2 years of basic sciences, which is basically all of the science stuff, the book work that you have to do for becoming a physician, learning the anatomy, physiology, how the body works, how it breaks, all the diseases, stuff like that. That's learned in basic sciences. And then the last 2 years is clinical rotations, where you're going to get experience in a broad range of specialties, rather. And you're going to be seeing a lot of stuff. So you'll be seeing OBGYN rather, internal medicine, family medicine, surgery, psychiatry, so on and so forth. So that's how medical school is broken up. So right there out the gate, that's 8 years down, 4 years of undergrad and 4 years of medical school. Again, this is the traditional route, traditional time frame. And then after medical school, you do residency. And that depends on what your specialty is. And that's where I get a lot of questions too is, well, are you in rotations? Are you in residency? Are you getting paid versus paying for tuition? Those things, they can look similar as far as residency and rotation, but I'll break down what that means. So clinical rotations, as I mentioned before, is the last 2 years of medical school where you're getting experiences in multiple disciplines of medicine. Residency, however, is after you have graduated, you are Dr. So-and-so, and you are now in the specialty that you picked to work in and also matched into, which means a program picked you. And that's a whole video in itself. But so for example, let's say I wanted to become a family medicine doctor. You're the doctor that you go to when you're just going to the clinic. You book an appointment, say like, hey, I need to get such and such looked at. I need to go to my primary care physician. They're usually a family medicine doctor. They can be an IM as well. And if they're a child, a pediatrician, but those are kind of in the same realm. There are definitely differences between those specialties. But let's say you did family medicine residency. And family medicine residency is usually 3 years for most programs. Same thing with peds, same thing with internal medicine. So you'll do residency in family medicine. The difference between that and clinical rotations is your focus is family medicine. Now you'll rotate in other specialties that are within family medicine, and they touch on certain things, like, but now it's a job. Now you're getting paid. Now you are seeing patients. You are, you're a legit part of the team and making decisions for, these patients. You're still working under an attending because you're still training. And an attending is basically the person, when you're done with all your training, you're, the big dog on the street. You are making all the decisions. You're checking off everyone's decisions as far as come to the patient care. You're making sure everything is going correctly with your patients or the best of your ability. So you are the final person that they answer to when it comes to at least the physician structure with patient care. So in residency, you are a doctor, but you are still training. And then after residency comes fellowship. And that's if you want to specialize further. So for example, in that family medicine example I gave, 3 years, you're done with that. And you can go work and be an attending after that, sure. But if you want to further specialize, you can do what's called a fellowship. And that can be anywhere to an additional year, can be an additional 3 to 4 years. But let's say I want to do family medicine, but then I specialize in like sports medicine. You can do that. Or you can specialize in emergency care. Like there's other things that you can do to like further increase your tool set as a physician. So that's fellowship. And then after fellowship, after you're done with that, you're finally at the top of the food chain as far as like I said, in the physician hierarchy. You're an attending, you're making the big doctor bucks, and it only took you a whopping 4 years undergrad, 4 years medical school, 3 years family medicine, and if you specialized, 1 to 2 years after that for fellowship before you make attending. So what we said, 4 plus 4 is 8, 3, 11, 2 to 3, like you're at 12 to 13, 14 years right there after high school before you get to the attending status where you're at the top. And that's with family medicine residency. So let's talk about that. So again, distinguishing the point between clinical rotations and residency. Clinical rotations is you're seeing a little bit of everything, and it's still school. You're still a student. You're still paying tuition to be there. And you're at the very bottom of the totem pole. You are there to learn. You are a part of the care team, but you are there to learn. You're still a student. And then residency, it is a job. You're getting paid. Like you are working within the specialty that you chose. So we said 12, 13, 14 years with the family medicine route. Let's go the surgery route. So for example, I'm interested in orthopedic or general surgery, and that's 5-year residency out the gate. After I graduate medical school, I can bank on at minimum 5 years of training. Some programs, it'll be 6, 7. Again, if I do a fellowship, you're looking at like 2 to 3 more years, depending on what I would choose, but out the gate. So now we're pushing that time frame up. If you went the traditional route, again, a traditional student, you did everything you were supposed to do, went straight through school, straight through medical school, straight through training. Now we're pushing up into the 15, 16, 17 years post high school that you're dedicating to your post high school education to get to attending status to where you're the big dog on the street. So that's the traditional route. Now, why do I distinguish between that and non-traditional? It's because non-traditional can be anything, like for a lot of people, it's because they may have started from another career. Like I know some of my classmates were nurses before. Some worked in corporate America, some even like lawyers. Some may have just waited. They just may have started a family first and then decided hey, I just want to go back to school and let me figure out the best route to do that. So our paths will be longer because, for whatever reason, it took us longer to get there. Some of us may have had to retake classes. like do a master's program before getting into medical school. Like it's very competitive no matter where you go. So I know for me, like just to put that out there, like I had to retake some classes. So it just took longer, and those decisions or whatever I was doing to force me to retake classes, the consequence is it's going to take longer to get to where I want to go. And I will talk about that in another video when I'm a little bit more comfortable about that and if it can reach more people, because I was just talking to someone about my, about my walk in medicine and getting to where I'm at. And, they said it was encouraging. So, at some point I'll give that story because apparently I guess people need to hear it. But when I'm a little bit more comfortable, I'll share that. But that's traditional versus non-traditional students. Is traditional student, both still a long time, but traditional student is if you went straight through, you did everything you're supposed to do on time, and that's what that trajectory looked like. Versus non-traditional, it can be however long. There was just an article released that there was a guy that just graduated medical school at 70 years old. I'm sure he didn't go all the way through school and was just taking classes here and there to, and then finally graduate after all these time medical school. I haven't read the entire article, but it just looks like he just went to school later in life. But there's people that's out here doing it later in life. There's a few of my classmates are in their 50s where they were business owners, and they're like, you know what, I always wanted to go to medicine or medical school. Let me become a doctor. Let me go that route. And they're there and they're figuring it out and figuring it out. So, just wanted to give that distinguished one. So when people ask me like, how much longer do you have? Well, I can say now how much longer I have, a little over a year, but before then it's just like, it'll get done when it get done, bruh. So just relax. It'll get done. So the second part of today's video is going to be a day in the life. And, people usually do the day in the life thing where it's like, I can show you the sexy stuff, the fun stuff, me walking in the hospital with my white coat on and the scrubs and showing you cases or whatever, of course, HIPAA compliant. But, I don't have that yet. I'll be there really, really, really soon within the next couple of weeks or whatever. But the reason I want to do that now is because there's a message in there. And then because like the first 2 years is the book work, and that's not fun. No one wants to watch a video of people studying for hours and hours on end. But it's important to note that because a lot of people, when they're showing these videos, they'll skip over that part. And that's important to actually show because people need to know what it takes to get there. So every school is different. For me in my school, we were in class 8 hours a day. And then after that, you were to study so that you can be prepared for these exams. Now, for me, being in class was very important. I'm an in-person kind of learner. We had COVID, so things went online. It was just a rough time. But basically what my day would look like is I would get up early in the morning, go for a walk, and then go to class from, depending on the day, could be from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. It could be like 8 a.m. to 3. But I was usually always in class at least until 3. And if it was a later day, it's because I had anatomy lab. So, and then after that, take a break and then get to studying. So literally during that time, and I'm keeping it short but sweet, literally during that time, I'm spending at least minimum 12 hours a day on schoolwork, on medicine, every day, Monday through Friday, mandatory, and then my own thing on Saturdays and Sundays. So what that would look like I said, is not fun to talk about that, but you get an idea of what that looks like. It's you wake up every day, you go to class, you study after class, and rinse and repeat every single day. 12 hours a day, sometimes 13, 14, 16 hours a day. That's what it takes to do this. That's literally what it takes to do this. And that's whether you are a person that has to go to class mandatorily, or you have some schools are like where you can watch lectures online and you don't have to physically be in class unless you're in didactics or case reviews or, stuff like that, or lab, you know what I mean? So, the reason why I bring that up is because when I say that to people and I tell them what it takes to do it, like a lot of times you're met with like, oh, that's a lot. Like I can never do that. Or I can like, how do you concentrate for that long? Or how do you sit through that much? Or, I just don't know if I have what it takes. And I'm here to tell you today that that's just completely false. I have multiple friends in multiple disciplines that even themselves may say like, that's a lot. I can never do that. And that's just not true. You can do whatever you want to do as long as you are willing to put the time into it. So this walk is no different outside of the patient care, because I do have to make that distinction. That is very, very different. There is a reason why people in healthcare are super stressed out, because healthcare is a sacrificial, it's a sacrificial job. It's a sacrificial calling. And people may try to downplay that. And I'm not one of those people. Like, for you to be in healthcare, it takes a lot out of you. So shout out to all my people in healthcare, nurses, transporters, physicians, even the people clean up the rooms, post OR, whatever, anyone taking care of people, shout out to y'all. But I digress on that. But when people say like, oh, I couldn't do that, like my response is absolutely, yeah, you could. Like, why would you say you can't do it? Number one, like, why are we downplaying ourselves? Don't do that. Like, stop doing that, y'all. Like, if there's something that you see that you want to obtain, you can go get it. But there is a sacrifice that comes with it. So, for example, I'm not going to name names on here because I have people that are very successful in different disciplines, different jobs and stuff like that. And, I haven't asked them if it's okay to reveal them. But for example, I have multiple friends that are lawyers, and seeing them go through studying for the bar, or, going through the semester, writing their papers and stuff like that, like, it takes dedication. It took them hours and hours and hours on end to, learn their craft, to get to where they're at. And now they're successful. They're making their money. They're, starting families and, doing the things that they always wanted to do. But it took a sacrifice to get there. There's other people. I have friends in the music business. Y'all probably know who they are. But I literally sat back and watched them grind for over a decade before reaping the benefits from all of their hard work. And now, they're catching fire. They're doing what they got to do. But everyone sees the come up, but they don't know that it took hours and hours and hours and hours of working on their craft, writing songs, producing, vocal producing, meeting this person, shaking hands, doing everything that they have to do to grind. No one paid attention to that, and they just think it's overnight success. The difference is like, in my profession, the grind is on the surface level. Everyone can see it. All you have to do is ask a person, and like, they'll tell you, bro, I'm studying. Like, I'm studying 12 hours a day. And that's, a little bit easier to understand, kind of. But for people where it just looks like they popped out and now they got all this success, like, nah, they put in work. I have a few musician friends where, when I talk to them about the doctor stuff, they're like, oh man, I can never do that. And I always say, like, yes, you can. Like, you picked up whatever your instrument was at 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, and now you code with it. It took years and years and years to get there, to be an expert at your craft, and you're still learning. You put in the 10,000 plus hours to get there. So like, applying that same kind of vigor, that same craving for knowledge and just honing your craft, it's the exact same thing that you would put into medicine. So that's why I wanted to really give that part of it. Like, when they say like the day in the life, basic sciences, Transfer that to your day in the life. See what you want to do, what you want to accomplish, where you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years, and beat that shit over the head, man. Like every day, all day, working on your craft. And if you got to do it here's why I linked it up. If you have to do it the non-traditional route, where all you can put in is 3-4 hours a day because you got the kids, you got work, you got whatever, so be it. There's a sacrifice that comes to greatness. So that's basically it for today. I just wanted to give those distinctions between a traditional and non-traditional student. And then just a day in the life of what I've had to do so far. It's just basically all grind. Wake up, study, go to class, study, eat, study, use the bathroom, study, go to sleep, wake up, repeat. In the next few weeks, I'll be able to show some of the more fun stuff. But I just wanted to come and say, like, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to accomplish, put your mind to it. Get over the what you can't do. I ain't trying to hear that. I'm not one of those people that's about to sugarcoat stuff for you. I ain't trying to hear none of that. If you want to do it, go do it. All right, y'all. I'll catch y'all on the next one. And yeah, look out for your boy. More videos coming from J Dav. Peace.